When you see the whole world shaking and you feel your heart is breaking, take my hand, no hesitating. Oh, when you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Fearless, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Fearless, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Well, good evening. Okay. I see I'm on my smaller screen. I'll make myself just a little bit bigger. Okay. So it's July 24th, and it was a nice day today, not too hot. It was a little overcast today, but a nice day, and had a busy week. A lot of things are happening that I want to talk to you about. Some good things, some very good things, and we'll talk about today's real estate market as well. I'm going to be getting some guest speakers on my podcast. That's really growing. Let me show you the full review first. And we could talk about some good things that are happening. Okay. So let's see what we're going to talk about today. Oh, okay. All right. I'm having trouble live streaming to my blog. I think most people watch it on FaceTime on my my Facebook page, Real Estate with Mr. G, and then my group page, Home Buyers, Old and New with Mr. G. Home Buyers and Sellers, old and New with Mr. G. And that's one thing I want to talk about, that group is really growing. As of tonight, I was up to about 289 followers, and which is good. When I look at other real estate groups, they have about a third of that amount. And we're about 3 times than many other local real estate groups. So I thank you for joining. I'm monitoring it very carefully, so I'm not getting posts that are misleading or have nothing to do with real estate. So I'm monitoring it very closely, and I just want to bring you up-to-date information. A lot of good articles every week or every day, along with videos, and that should be very helpful with your real estate pursuits. So that's a good thing I want to say. That's growing very, very well. Number 2, I'm getting people who are sending me articles for my blog, realestatewithmrg.blog. So they're submitting articles, and I'm giving them their bylines and point backs to their websites and whatever to help them as well. So that's happening. I had 2 articles came on this week, or between this week and last, that were submitted to me, and they are coming across the blog, and it's being seen by a lot of people. Right now, I have about 688 followers on that alone. So those are some good things, and I'm planning right now to have 2 guest speakers in the next couple of weeks. I'll be interviewing them throughout the podcast. One will be a home inspector, and we'll go over current events with home inspections, because there's lots of things going on now about it, because many people are foregoing the home inspection, which I don't think it's a good idea. Even if you have if you have lots of money, if you have money coming out of your back pocket, $20 bills are falling out, $50 bills, and it doesn't bother you, then you may be able to forego a home inspection. And if you have money, if you all of a sudden you find out the HVAC system is shot, and that's a total of about $30,000, but $30,000 doesn't bother you, then maybe you could forego a home inspection. But investing another $30,000 in your property, if that's a little tight for you, if you can't do it, then you should not forego the home inspection. So I want to go over to the duties of the home inspector. A lot of people confuse that with the appraisal, and it's different. It's for a different purpose. And the appraisal, you must get the appraisal. If you're using bank money for your financing of the house, if you're not paying with cash, you are getting a bank loan, and you must, there's no question about it, you must get an appraisal. Okay? And that is needed, right, to find out the true value of the home. So just a quick review without going off subject. If you have a contract on a house and you have the contracted price is $100,000, and the house appraises for $95,000, well, the bank is only going to lend you money on the $95,000, not the $100,000. So you have to make up the difference, and that's happening a lot right now with today's market, where buyers are guaranteeing that they will pay above the appraised value if it's not meeting the contracted price. So that's the appraised value. But the home inspection they go in and they're not giving you a value to the house. They're letting you know if the house is in good order, and to let you know what's wrong with the house, and also to let you know what's good about the house and how to maintain it. It's not always negative, all right? You learn something from it. So, again, I don't want to go off topic. I have another topic that I want to talk about today. The sun is setting, so it's going into my camera light here. Okay. But we'll talk more about that. We should be doing that next Saturday. Tentatively, it might be the following Saturday, but I will let you know via social media. But basically, we're going to talk about today whether or not today's market, if it is indeed cooling down. So I just lost I guess I was messing around a little too much. Here it is. Okay. I have to share my screen now. And let me make myself here. I come on over here a little bit. And let me get rid of my caption. So we could see everything. Oh, can I get rid of the Chris Gardula here? You know who I am, right? I mean, I may have to. All right, that might have to stay right now. I'm sorry. I apologize, but maybe I'll just make this bigger. All right. So this article is from Housing Wire, and that's a nationwide publication. It's a website, but they've been sending me as well hard copies of their articles. But it's very helpful for people like myself in real estate when I want to educate the public and my clients, my buyers and sellers about what's going on. It's a great website. So this is nationwide right now. I'm going to also show you an article from a local multiple listing service. It's called RAIN, the Real Estate Information Network, and they're basically mirroring what this is saying about the country nationwide. All right, so the housing market is losing steam. So we see here that new single-family home sales were reported at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 704,000 units in June, a decrease of 5% of May's pace of 741,000. Okay, so that's a bit of a slowdown. All right, and again, when we talk about these statistics, you have to remember that we're coming from an insanely crazy market. All right. So even though, 5% may seem a lot, and it is from month to month, but it's from an extreme high. All right. So it's slowing down. It's losing steam. It's still pretty fast. I have an offer now in with a client of mine. The listing agent told me they have about 7 offers on it. Okay, actually the house was off the market. It came back on again, and let me just move this down a little bit more here. But no matter what, it's going still very quickly. Now that this listing agent, depending on the seller needed to do this weekend, he said he wanted to go over everything Sunday night. I guess he figured because the house will be shown, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's going to review everything Sunday around 6 p.m. This one seller. Okay. But it's still, as I'm saying, if it's cooled down a little bit, it's good, but it's still a lot going on. It's pretty fast. Okay. Now, just to read more from what I have here, overall sales of new homes are still down 7% from last year, according to Ken, the NBA Associate Vice President of the Economic and Industry Forecasting. Now, this is new homes. This is new construction. Now, we have to look at that independently because they are having problems going back and forth. So they're able to get some supplies in, and then there's a stoppage or a slowdown that comes back again. It's not steady. When the more I talk about this, so many factors to bring in with this. We are seeing people coming back to work at the mills and the factories, because we're getting in control of this pandemic and hopefully stopping it, but we still have a lot of maybes or ifs out there and unknowns, because we are now having this upsurge of the Delta variant. Now, I want to bring this up a little bit later, but I can't go past supplies without talking about how important it is to stop this pandemic. Because if people start getting sick again, and they are workers and they are told not to go to work and they get maybe furloughed again, we could be back to a year ago. And this is very serious. And what's serious too, very scary, if we don't stop this Delta variant, it can mutate into something else. And every time it mutates, it becomes something worse. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I want to make that very clear. I'm reading what I hear from news networks. All right. So where we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, it may get dark again. And I'm being very serious about that. I want to stay positive, but we got some issues we got to deal with. And with the issues is getting people who are not vaccinated, because it's going to mess up the economy again. It really is. It's like, I just want you to see my face because this gets me upset. All right, where we were so close, and now it may go back because people won't get vaccinated. And what I don't understand, and I'm going a little bit off script right now, what I want to do is that the people who are not getting vaccinated are saying, well, this not, this is new medicine, there's no evidence. The evidence is there because the people who are getting sick now are the unvaccinated. So there's your proof right now that it works. And the very small percentage that are getting sick or vaccinated are not going on ventilators. They don't have to go in the hospital. They may show positive for COVID-19, but they're not showing the symptoms. So if you want to go back to the darkness of 2020, we could very easily be there by fall, very easily. All right. And what does that mean for the real estate industry? Is that sellers who are now putting their houses on the market, the next batch are going to say, no, I'm going to wait. It's getting dangerous again. I'm still living here. I don't want people walking through the house who have this Delta variant. So I'm showing you more evidence that the market, the competition is cooling down, but we might have big issues again. All right. So this is we're at a point here, and that's how fragile economies are, right? Because we're showing signs that we're going strong and things are getting better, but this COVID-19 could very easily throw a wrench into wheels of commerce, and we're back together where we were a year ago. It's really, I just don't understand, how people think, really. I just hope those who are not vaccinated, you just wake up and realize that I need to get this. Unless your doctor tells you it's not healthy, you've been examined that way, but we got to get rid of this thing, because it could really, this momentum we're having now might end very abruptly soon. Okay, so let's go back to here. Now let's go talk about home builders, and that's important because, all right, I'm reading right where it says, right now home builders are encountering stronger headwinds as severe price increases for key building materials, rising regulatory costs, and labor shortages impact their ability to raise production. This has hampered new home sales and quickened home price growth. It quickens the home price growth because there's less inventory in the market, less housing. And again, you might see a dip in some of the charts in sales of new homes, brand new homes, but it's not because that industry is doing bad, because there's not enough supply, okay? They're having trouble getting supplies. They're very expensive. There's a lot of stuff going on, okay? Let's move down a little bit more. So we're going to go to here. This month's increase in single-family starts coincided with a slowdown in single-family permits, which fell 6.3%. Palom said Tuesday. While this data tends to be noisy on a month-to-month basis, the divergence between starts and permits is consistent, with builders struggling to keep up with orders, as is the tick-up in homes authorized but not yet started. With lumber prices recently pulling back, we expect some near-term strength in construction. All right. So if we continue on the right path of ending this pandemic, the lumber prices will begin to fall, unless, we go back to lockdown mode again, or if people can't go to work because they're infected. So, however, June starts gains was somewhat smaller than we had anticipated, while the fall in permits was greater. Therefore, a modest downward revision of short-term forecast is likely. So again, there's a lot of factors involved, whether they get the permits, whether they get the orders in, whether or not the cost of lumber is prohibitive. There's a lot of factors involved with that. But with prices of lumber falling a little bit, and people going back to the mills and producing enough supply, things should get better in that area. All right. All right. The other thing I want to talk about, which is very understandable, is biofatigue. And I'm having that problem with my buys right now, because they're saying, there's too much competition. I want to see a property. You're telling me it's already in contract. There's multiple offers on it. People are bidding above the asking price. I'm going to wait. To be honest with you, even though it hurts me financially, right? But I don't blame them. And if I was a buyer where I don't have that much more money, like say I need a house, the houses that I want are $250,000. All right, and I've seen some homes at $250,000 I could be offering, but I can't throw in another $10,000 above that. I just don't have the money. I completely understand. All right, it's a crazy market. If you have to wait, you have to wait. Now, the other thing is that we expect, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm honest with all my clients, and that's why I win almost every year the 5-star professional award in real estate. To be honest with you, if you have to wait, I know what I was going to say. Okay, having my senior moment, but if you wait too long, we expect interest rates or mortgages to go up starting at the end of the year and going into 2022. But I'm going to be very honest with you. I've been saying that, and we've been thinking that. Not that I've been lying, but with reports that I read and I rebroadcast and I post, they were supposed to have gone up a long time ago, and they haven't. So if we go back into the deep hole, the deep dark hole of this pandemic, they may stay low. If we beat it and the economy is chugging along and moving upward, then they will raise them. All right. So if you wait too long, I mean, if you don't have the money, I don't blame you. Okay. But I can't guarantee that house that you like now, in 6 months, it's going to cost you the same amount of money, because we do expect, if the economy still goes strong, mortgage rates will go up. And if home prices still cringe up a little bit, not only would you have the higher mortgage rate, you will also have the higher payment. You'll have a more expensive home. So you'll have an expensive mortgage on a more expensive home. If everything goes as planned, as we've been seeing at this point. Again, things might change with this pandemic. All right, so what I want to do fast, and I know a lot of people, when it comes to looking at charts, this is from the range. This is the Real Estate Information Network, and this is for our Hampton Roads area. And basically, I won't go word for word through it, and what I'll do, I'll post this up on my blog, so you'll see what we talked about for this week. But basically, it's echoing the same thing that we discussed on the nationwide level. All right, that home buyers tap the brakes during the hot real estate market. And again, it's going to talk about more listings coming about. It's going to talk about the home starts are new home starts are trying to regain speed as more people go back to work and lumber prices begin to come back down again. Okay, so I'll post this up there, but again, it's basically echoing what was said on the national level. Okay. By the way, it's not discussed really in these two articles, but actually the raising of mortgage rates is going to help cool down the market a bit. And houses will stay longer on the market because, it's like if you shop at Macy's and let's say, okay, we're going soon into fall and you need a new full wardrobe, and all of a sudden you see everything is like 50% off, right? So you rush there, and so the 50% off represents the low mortgage rate. So you go there and you buy a lot of fall and winter clothes. Okay. But once that sale is over, even though the inventory is there, and maybe there's only like a 20% off or 10% off, then you hold back a little bit. Okay. And then the people who are only in the market are saying, well, no, I really need a new winter coat. I really need a new heavy sweater or whatever. So as mortgage rates go up, it's going to slow down the buyers out there. And then homes will be more on the market, and you don't have to make a very quick decision. Okay. So what I did next, and I thought this was a good idea because, I taught for 21 years full-time. I did real estate in the afternoon as I was a full-time business teacher before I came down to Virginia, and now I just do it full-time. And it's always good to end with a little summary. So what I'm going to do, let me get rid of this. And let me do my little summary. I hope this works out nice. So I hope that was a nice little review or a little recap of what we went over. Okay. And remember, if you're ready to buy, call me. Wherever this is being shown, there's a way to get in contact with me. If you're selling and we need listings, we still need listings, call me, contact me. Let me see here. I'll show you I think I have my website address up here. Very simple, realestatewithmrg.com. You could search for homes there. You could find out your home valuations immediately. I would, once you contact me, I'll fine tune it. But that's my website there. But again, wherever this is shown out in cyberspace, you could contact me through that medium. Okay. All right, and then I want to remind you why it's important, even with these struggles you have right now, to become a homeowner. Wasn't that nice how I got that Olympian champion into the video? Okay, I add the stuff to make it different. I hope you enjoy it. I think, oh man, okay. I think I might have a famous person in the audience. I hear my producer William Burgess. He's calling me. Let's see what famous person is in our audience this week.
Yes, great news. We have a famous celebrity in the audience. He is a Spanish ventriloquist and comedian. His popularity grew with his frequent television appearances on CBS, The Ed Sullivan Show during the 1950s and 1960s. Later, he became popular with another generation of fans on The Muppet Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Senior Wences.
Wow, I haven't seen them since I was a kid. It's great. I'm glad that you stopped by in the audience. So, okay, that's all for this week. Next week, hopefully, we'll get speakers from the construction company. There's a lot to talk about that. So have a wonderful, safe week. Remember, the greatest power we have is love. The greatest gift is each other. Be well with the mask if you're not vaccinated, and get vaccinated.